The initial job as an electrician often brings a blend of excitement and nervousness, stemming from the anticipation of the opportunity and the weight of the responsibility. One frequently encountered challenge is dealing with inexperienced or unreliable helpers, which can lead to frustration and delays. Correcting the mistakes of others is a common occurrence in electrical projects, necessitating a keen eye for detail and a commitment to quality. The feeling of being overwhelmed by a long to-do list is not uncommon, particularly when inheriting projects with numerous outstanding tasks or modifications. It is important to recognize that mastering the electrical trade involves a continuous learning curve, as the breadth of knowledge and skills required becomes increasingly apparent with experience. Communication is essential when working with helpers who might be overconfident or lacking in experience. Clearly communicate your expectations, provide specific guidance, and ensure they understand the task at hand. Implement hands-on training sessions to demonstrate proper techniques and provide helpers with opportunities to practice under supervision. While it's important to allow helpers to learn from their mistakes, avoid micromanaging their every move. Intervene when necessary to prevent serious errors or safety hazards, but otherwise, give them the space to develop their skills. Set realistic goals for helpers, recognizing that they won't become experts overnight. Focus on incremental improvements and provide opportunities for them to build their confidence. Offer consistent support and encouragement, especially when they encounter setbacks. Patience is key to fostering a positive learning environment. When working with green helpers, start by assessing their current skills and identifying areas where they need improvement. This evaluation will help you tailor your training approach to their specific needs. Develop a structured training plan that covers the fundamentals of electrical work, safety procedures, and relevant code requirements. This plan should provide a clear path for their development. Gradually increase the level of responsibility you give them as they gain experience and demonstrate competence. Start with simple tasks and progress to more complex assignments as their skills improve. Provide regular feedback to help them understand their progress and identify areas for growth. Constructive feedback is essential for their development. Remember that it takes time for green helpers to become proficient. Be patient and invest in their development, providing ongoing support and mentorship. Before starting a townhome rough job, thoroughly check the blueprints to familiarize yourself with the layout, electrical systems, and any specific requirements. This will help you avoid costly mistakes and ensure compliance with local codes. Maintain open communication with the builder to discuss any potential issues or changes to the plans promptly. Addressing these issues early can prevent delays and conflicts later on. Break down the project into smaller, more manageable tasks to avoid feeling overwhelmed. This approach allows you to focus on specific areas and track your progress more effectively. Prioritize the rough wiring, completing it before moving on to other tasks. This ensures that the essential infrastructure is in place before proceeding with finishing work. Never cut corners on the wiring installation. Ensure that all wiring is properly installed, secured, and meets code requirements. Attention to detail is crucial for safety and long-term reliability. When evaluating a green helper's skills, look at their ability to follow instructions accurately. Do they listen carefully and implement your guidance effectively? Assess their understanding of basic electrical concepts, such as voltage, amperage, ohms, and circuit continuity. This foundational knowledge is essential for performing electrical work safely and effectively. Observe their ability to use basic electrical tools, such as wire strippers, pliers, screwdrivers, and multimeters. Proper tool handling is crucial for efficient and safe work. Evaluate their knowledge of safety procedures, including lockout/tagout, proper use of personal protective equipment, and safe work practices around energized equipment. Safety should always be the top priority. As you develop a training plan, start with the basics, such as identifying different types of wires and cables, making proper wire connections, and installing electrical boxes. These fundamentals are essential for all electrical work. Teach them how to read and interpret electrical schematics and diagrams. This skill is crucial for understanding circuit layouts and troubleshooting problems. Provide hands-on training in using a multimeter to measure voltage, amperage, and resistance. This skill is essential for troubleshooting electrical circuits. Emphasize the importance of following the National Electrical Code, or NEC, and any local electrical codes. Code compliance is essential for safety and legal compliance. When assigning responsibility, gradually start with simple tasks such as pulling wires, installing boxes, and making basic connections under supervision. As they gain experience, gradually assign them more complex tasks such as wiring circuits, installing lighting fixtures, and troubleshooting problems. Provide close supervision and guidance as they take on new responsibilities, offering support and feedback as needed. Encourage them to ask questions and seek clarification when they are unsure about something. Regular feedback should be specific, constructive, and timely. Focus on both their strengths and areas for improvement. Provide positive reinforcement when they perform well, and offer constructive criticism when they make mistakes. Encourage them to reflect on their experiences and learn from their mistakes. Remind yourself that patience is crucial. It takes time for green helpers to develop the skills and knowledge needed to become proficient electricians. Be patient with their learning process and provide ongoing support and encouragement. Invest in their development by providing opportunities for them to attend training courses, workshops, and seminars. Continuing education is essential for staying up to date with the latest technologies and code requirements. In addition to the blueprint, always perform a thorough walkthrough of the townhome to identify any potential issues or challenges. Look for things like existing wiring, structural obstructions, and accessibility limitations. During your communication with the builder, clarify any ambiguities in the plans or specifications. Make sure you understand the scope of work, materials to be used, and any specific requirements. Discuss any potential code violations or safety hazards you identify during your review of the plans and walkthrough. Address these issues proactively to avoid problems later on. When breaking down the job, consider the different stages of the rough wiring process, such as installing boxes, running cables, making connections, and labeling circuits. Allocate sufficient time for each stage, taking into account the complexity of the work and the experience of your helpers. Prioritize the rough wiring based on the sequence of construction. Start with the areas that need to be completed first, such as the main service panel and the branch circuits that will power essential equipment. Ensure that the wiring is properly sized for the anticipated loads, in accordance with the National Electrical Code, or NEC. Use appropriate wiring methods for the specific application, such as non-metallic sheet cable mix for dry locations and rigid metal conduit for wet or hazardous locations. Secure the wiring properly to prevent damage or accidental contact. Use cable staples, conduit clamps, and other appropriate fasteners to support the wiring. Make sure all electrical boxes are properly grounded, using grounding screws, bonding jumpers, and other grounding devices. Proper grounding is essential for safety and to prevent electrical shock. Label all circuits clearly and accurately using circuit breakers or fuse labels. This will make it easier to identify and troubleshoot circuits in the future. Use a circuit tester to verify that all circuits are properly wired and grounded. This will help you identify and correct any wiring errors. Before energizing any circuits, double-check all connections and wiring to ensure they are correct and secure. This will help you prevent short circuits and other electrical hazards. Remember that the National Electrical Code, or NEC, is a comprehensive set of standards for electrical installations. Familiarize yourself with the relevant sections of the code and follow them carefully. Pay attention to requirements for wire size, overcurrent protection, grounding, and wiring methods. Consider NEC Table 310.15b16 for ampacities of insulated conductors rated up to and including 2000 volts. Use the correct size and type of overcurrent protection for each circuit, in accordance with the National Electrical Code, or NEC. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to protect wiring from overheating and causing a fire. Ground all metal enclosures, such as electrical boxes, panels, and conduit to provide a path for fault current to flow back to the source. Proper grounding helps to prevent electrical shock and reduce the risk of fire. Use appropriate wiring methods for the specific environment, such as wet, dry, or hazardous locations. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, specifies the types of wiring methods that are permitted in different environments. For example, non-metallic sheath cable Romex is permitted in dry locations, while rigid metal conduit is required in wet or hazardous locations. The information provided in this narration is for general guidance only and should not be considered as substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer for specific electrical design and installation requirements. Ensure all electrical work complies with all applicable codes and regulations, including the National Electrical Code, or NEC, and any local amendments. Electrical work can be dangerous and should only be performed by qualified individuals who are trained in safe work practices. Always take necessary safety precautions to protect yourself and others from electrical hazards. When working on electrical equipment, always energize the circuit before starting work. Use a voltage tester to verify that the circuit is de-energized. Follow lockout/tagout procedures to prevent the circuit from being accidentally energized while you are working on it. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment such as safety glasses, gloves, and insulated shoes. These items can help to protect you from electrical shock, burns, and other injuries. Be aware of the potential hazards associated with electrical work, such as electrical shock, arc flash, and explosions. Take steps to mitigate these hazards and work safely. If you are not comfortable performing electrical work, do not attempt to do it yourself. Hire a qualified electrician to perform the work for you. Remember that electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. By following safe work practices and taking necessary precautions, you can help to prevent electrical accidents and injuries. Working with helpers, remember to give them a sense of ownership and purpose. Explain the importance of their role in the overall project and how their contributions make a difference. Encourage them to take pride in their work and strive for excellence. Create a positive and supportive work environment where helpers feel comfortable asking questions, sharing ideas, and seeking help when needed. Foster a team atmosphere where everyone works together towards a common goal. Recognize and reward helpers for their accomplishments and contributions. Acknowledge their hard work and dedication, and provide opportunities for them to advance their careers. Be a role model for your helpers, demonstrating professionalism, integrity, and a commitment to safety and quality. Your actions will speak louder than words and inspire them to follow your example. By investing in your helpers and providing them with the training, support, and opportunities they need to succeed, you will not only improve their skills and performance but also create a more productive and fulfilling work environment. This will benefit both the helpers and the company as a whole. When correcting mistakes, focus on teaching rather than blaming. Explain the correct way to do things and help the person understand the reason behind the proper technique. This will help prevent similar mistakes in the future. Document any recurring mistakes or areas where helpers need additional training. This documentation can be used to develop targeted training programs and improve overall performance. Regularly review the quality of work being performed and provide feedback to helpers. This will help identify and correct any issues early on before they become major problems. Encourage helpers to take responsibility for their work and to strive for continuous improvement. Foster a culture of accountability where everyone is committed to doing their best. Remember that correcting mistakes is an opportunity to learn and grow. By approaching mistakes with a positive attitude and a focus on improvement, you can create a more resilient and successful team. When facing a long to-do list, break it down into smaller, more manageable tasks. This will make the project seem less daunting and help you stay organized. Prioritize the tasks based on their importance and urgency. Focus on completing the most critical tasks first. Delegate tasks to helpers whenever possible. This will not only help you reduce your workload but also provide them with opportunities to learn and grow. Use a project management tool to track progress and manage deadlines. This will help you stay on schedule and ensure that all tasks are completed on time. Communicate regularly with the team to keep everyone informed of the project status and any changes to the plan. This will help prevent misunderstandings and ensure that everyone is working towards the same goal. Take breaks to avoid burnout. Stepping away from the project for a few minutes can help you clear your head and come back refreshed. Celebrate your successes along the way. Recognizing your accomplishments will help you stay motivated and energized. The amount of time to allow a green helper to learn the residential electrical trade varies depending on the individual's aptitude, work ethic, and the complexity of the projects they are exposed to. However, a general guideline is to allow 6 months to 1 year for a green helper to become proficient in basic residential electrical tasks. During this time, provide them with ongoing training, supervision, and feedback. Gradually increase their level of responsibility as they gain experience and demonstrate competence. Be patient and supportive, and recognize that it takes time to develop the skills and knowledge needed to become a qualified electrician. Remember that it is important to have the new hire understand how to use a multimeter,